Hi students, welcome to biology class. I wish all my viewers a very happy Christmas 2020. Okay. So in this class, let us discuss about pteridophytes, their general characters. As we have already studied about bryophytes in the last video. If you have not watched that video, please see that video. Then you can come back to this video that is of pteridophytes. Now when we say pteridophytes, this is the group of the plants which are called as ferns. Okay, these are the group of plants which are called as the ferns. And one more important point what I have to mention here is pteridophyte, that is these are the first, or these can be called as the first land plants. These are not amphibians like bryophytes. They are not amphibians. These are exclusively land plants. And again, they like very moist and damp soils here. They like very moist and damp soil. That is, they grow very richly, they grow luxuriantly in a water rich area. Okay, so this is another point. Then third point is they have a separate root system and shoot system. See here, 3 points are very important. They have a separate root system and shoot system. If you write these 3 points, or if you understand these 3 basic characters of the pteridophytes, 50% of your work is over. Okay, now let us come to the general characters of the pteridophytes. In case of bryophytes, I have drawn the diagram, a rosette kind of diagram. Example I had given Riccia, Markensia, Anthoceros, Funaria, etc. There we did not have this root system and shoot system. Okay, that is they did not have leaf-like structures, or some leaf-like structure was present, but in case of the Funaria, and it was not a true leaf. Okay, it was just a leaf-like structure. But here in case of pteridophytes, it is not like that. Okay, in pteridophytes we have, like this, there is a root system here and there is a shoot system which have leaf like structures which are called as fronds, or here we can see leaf, and these leaves they are called as fronds, F-R-O-N-D-S. Okay, they are called as fronds. Okay, now these particular group of plant, that is in pteridophytes, they produce 2 kind of reproductive material, or 2 kind of producing structures are formed. One, it is called as the sporophylls, and other one that is called as strobilus. See here, in your textbook also they have given. See here, so this is a example of a fern. I think this is a silver fern, and this is the one more example of a fern. This is a horsetail fern, which is also called as equisetum. Here you have something called as strobilus. At the tip region you will have this strobilus. This is the lycopodium. Here also at the tip region it will produce the what? Strobilus. Now here the second point is, as I told you, it has this leafy structure, or it has this leaf. Okay, in some of the pteridophytes same kind of leaf is present. Okay, but in case of some pteridophytes, like example Selaginella, in case of Selaginella, what happens, there are 2 kinds of leaf. One is called as microleaf or microphylla, and macrophylla. That is, it has 2 kinds of leaf. That is, one leaf is very small, which is called as microphyllous leaf, and other leaf is very broader when compared to that, that is called as microphyllous. Okay, and here again the plant is going to produce spores. It is not going to produce the gametes. So as the plant of the pteridophyte, or as the thallus, or as the plant of this pteridophyte is going to produce the spores, we call sporophytic generation is dominant. Okay, as this particular plant doesn't produces the gamete, it produces the spores. So we call sporophytic generation is dominant. Okay, so this is one of the important point what we have to know. Now the next thing what we have to understand here is, where are these spores actually born? Now I told you already that the leaf of this pteridophyte, you know, on the ventral surface. Now leaf will be exposed like this. On the lower region here down, it will be having dotted structure like this. See here, dotted structure like this, and this dotted structure like this, they are called as sporangia. See here, can you see this? These are brown color dots. In the leaf also you will find brown color spots only. Now these brown color spots are nothing but they are called as what? They are called as sporangia. Okay, but some plants, they don't form this dotted structure like this. Instead, the tip region will have some leafy appendages like this. Okay, the plants which do not have this brown color spots, I'm saying, they will be developing a leafy appendage like this. This one is called as strobilus. See here, this one is called as strobilus. If this is there, this is not there. If this is there, this is not there. It's like this. So sporophylls are nothing but this one. This is our sporangia. And sometimes these sporangia are also of two types. They are called as, that is, sporangia are going to produce what? These sporangia. Let me write here. This sporangia, they are going to produce spores. Now sometimes we have two kinds of spores depending upon the morphology. Okay. One of these spores, they are called as homospores, and some of the sporangia, they produce heterospores. See here, some of the sporangia, they produce homospores, some of the sporangia, they produce heterospores. Homospores means all the spores resemble the same structure, morphology, shape, everything. Okay. In case of heterospores means what? Some spores are small, whereas some spores are bigger like this. Okay, two shapes. If one spore is small, other spore is big. Okay, one more time I'm going to tell you, they are called as sporophytic generation is dominant means what? This particular plant of pteridophyte, it is producing spores. Okay, if it produce spores, then we call as sporophytic generation is dominant. If it produce gamete, in case of what is that? Bryophyte, it produces gamete. So we call gametophytic generation is dominant. Okay. Next here, we are going to see what happens. Now I told you that this leaf is going to produce a spore. What next? See, these spores or this sporangia, it will open up, releasing the spores. Now spores have come down. See, this is the soil and the spores have fallen on the soil. Okay. Now this spore will start to germinate. See, the spores have started to germinate. Okay, and this germinated spore, that is called as prothallus. See here, I told what I told. This is a leaf. On the leaf there is sporangia. Sporangia are producing spores. Spores may be homospores or heterospores. But when these spores fall on the soil, they are going to germinate, and this germinated structure, that is called as prothallus. Now why this has germinated? This prothallus is going to produce the gametophyte, that is the male gametophyte and the female gametophyte, Antheridia and Archegonia. Now what will happen? The antherozoites, the male gamete, will swim in the water and it will come and fuse with the female gamete to form a zygote, and again this zygote will germinate what? Into a plant. And this generation will continue again and again. So this is the what? Important character of pteridophytes, or these are the general characters of pteridophytes. One more important feature also it has. So when we say it has a separate root system and shoot system, we have to understand that they have the complex permanent tissue, which is called as xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. This is the actual evolutionary stage of xylem and phloem. That is, primitive kind of xylem and primitive kind of phloem is seen in case of pteridophytes. It is not well established xylem. If you see a angiosperm plant, any angiosperm, flower producing plants. Their xylem is one of the advanced xylem. Their phloem is one of the advanced phloem. But this primitive or prototype of xylem and prototype of phloem, primitive kind of xylem and phloem, it is seen emerging in this root system and shoot system of the pteridophyte. So they are called as vascular cryptogams. See here. So they are called as vascular cryptogams. You know the meaning of vascular cryptogams. I have explained in the previous video. Please check that. Vascular cryptogams means these are the first plants to develop primitive kind of xylem and phloem. So it is called as vascular cryptogams. Okay. I hope you have understood this particular pteridophytes. In the next class, I will be explaining you the differences between the bryophyte and pteridophyte, and I will be stressing more on gametophytic dominant gametophytic generation and sporophytic generation, why it is called dominant and all those things. Yes children, if you liked my video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.